what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll do a quick shootout of my two Fryette amps here, the Deliverance 60 and the SigX. As y'all know, I had the Pitbull Ultra Lead on the channel a little while ago, and although I think it's a phenomenal amp, I found that it was kind of treading ground a little bit too close to the Artemis for my likes, and I still personally slightly preferred the Artemis to the Ultra Lead. Whereas these two, they have a very different feel than, you know, my favorite amp, the Artemis, and I'm really enjoying it. Somebody told me a while back that they thought that the Deliverance and the SigX sounded pretty similar. So far, I really agree with that. There was a pretty huge difference between the Deliverance and the Ultra Lead, in my opinion, whereas I feel like these two are kind of at least cut from the same cloth, and it's pretty cool. So I know that the design principle behind the Deliverance was to provide as much flexibility with as few controls as possible. It seems like the SigX is just, you know, flexibility with all the controls in the world you could ask for. It has a bunch, and there's going to be no way to like really show everything that either of these amps can do really in one video. But I think the way I'm going to approach this is that I'm going to just dial in cool sounds on the Deliverance, then try and match it on the SigX and go from there. I am using my Airis Pro drive here for this video. There is some gain dialed in on the pedal. I'll show the settings on it in the photo. And it's going to stay on and just pretty much in that position the whole time for this video. And I'm running a different cab and mic setup today, so please let me know what you guys think about that. Today we're running both of my cabs here. So I do have my DV77 loaded KSR cab that has a Antelope audio condenser mic on it. It's the Edge Solo condenser mic. And my Gravity cab over here has a SE Electronic dynamic mic on it. The full signal chain will be down in the description. I'll tell you right now, I know this Gravity cab has both a V30 and a creamback on it. I'm not sure if this is on the V30 or the creamback. I'll put that in the comment section or something later on once I actually take the back off this cab and figure it out. Regardless, I think it sounds really good, and that's what matters. So let's go ahead and get into it. I already have some sounds dialed in here. I pretty much pre-matched this. This is pretty much what I would consider a kind of matched tone. I'll try and match it a little bit closer as we go here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I think the SigX has a little bit less like top end gain, like this top end here. Let's dial in a little bit more treble. I think the matching of them kind of started to deviate there, but both of the sounds are like really great there. All right, and here we go. A few days later, I have a kid now, like many of you know, and yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. But that said, I've grabbed a different guitar, and I have dialed in a slightly different sound on the Deliverance, trying to lean more towards the crisp side of the voicing. So, you know, there's gain 1, gain 2. Gain 1 is the voicing. So the more you push it to crisp, the, you know, more it kind of thins out the sound. Not in a bad way. Not necessarily in a bad way. But yeah, I do tend to prefer it in the thicker side of things. But you can get some pretty cool tones out of the crisper side of it as well. So I've dialed in what I consider to be a decently cool sound on the crisp side of the Deliverance. Now I'm going to try and chase that with the SigX. Full disclosure, I just recorded this a minute ago, but forgot to press record on the video. So during that time, I realized that I think that the rhythm channel, the lead channel is a lot closer to what the Deliverance in general does. I was going to try and dial in something on the rhythm channel to match to the Deliverance, but I found that it's way closer on the lead channel than the rhythm channel. That said, let me jump back to the rhythm channel real quick and show that to y'all. So here's the tone that we're going to be chasing. This is the tone that's on the Deliverance that we're going to chase on the SigX. And I actually do think that is fairly close, but I feel like there's a pretty significant bit of low-end chunk that's missing out of the SigX that the Deliverance has there. Yeah, and that, at least on this channel, that's something I'm noticing. It seems like the Deliverance just has more low-end to deliver. That said, I'm also using the SigX in its 40 watt mode. So let's experiment with putting it into its 100 watt mode. But I'm not playing super loud here, so that's also something to consider. I feel like this amp right now, at the volume I'm playing at, sounds better on the 40 watt mode, but let's jump up to 100 watts and see if that, you know, adjusts the low end at all. It really did not seem to adjust my thoughts on the low end too much. It just seems like the Deliverance just has a good bit more low end chunk to it. But they both sound really good, and they actually did sound fairly comparable other than that low end piece that I just mentioned. That said, let's jump back over to the lead channel of the SigX and go from there. The SigX is still, this channel is also in the 100 watt mode, just so y'all are aware. So at this point, bass is maxed out. That includes the depth and the bass control. They're maxed out on the SigX. And it just doesn't have, there's this low end, it's just chunk that the Deliverance has that I don't necessarily hear in the SigX. I don't even want to say chunk because it's super weird to describe. It's what I would expect from a depth control on an amp. You know, it's like, it's almost an overtone of low end that you just hear when you're playing the Deliverance. And I'm realizing that might be what really made me enjoy that amp in the first place. The SigX does not have that characteristic. I can't seem to bring that out of the SigX. Try and listen for what I'm talking about here. And yeah, there we go. Both really, really great sounding amps, but I think it's difficult to come to very concrete conclusions about these amps considering that they're both so freaking flexible. But that said, one of those conclusions for me definitely does seem to be that the Deliverance just has a certain low-end overtone kind of deal that I really, truly enjoy that the SigX does not have it's not that pronounced in the SigX. I do feel like there is kind of a low-end something that's there that I really enjoy that is definitely not in something like my KSR Artemis, which once again, my favorite amp, it is not there. But I think that low-end, whatever it is part of what made me really enjoy the Deliverance. Like I asked a group the other day why they might think that, you know, KSR and Fryette are the amps that really, truly stand out to me. And I've been just such a joy to play. And they said, hey, maybe somebody whose opinion I respect said it might be because they both feel so immediate when you play them. That is very much possibly a thing. I do get that feeling out of both the Artemis, the Deliverance, and the SigX. But at the same time, like I said, I really enjoyed the Deliverance when I first played it because it was like, okay, I really enjoy the way this amp sounds and feels, but it also sounds and feels totally different to me than my Artemis. Now I'm noticing that, like I said, that low end, whatever it is, it's not there it's not nearly as much of it in the SigX. Although I still think it's more there than it is in the Artemis. So to me, that kind of, my first thought is that the SigX sits somewhere in between the Pitbull Ultra Lead and the Deliverance, much closer to the Deliverance in terms of how it feels and sounds. But at the same time, it still has a little bit more of that modern bite and lack of huge rectifier-like low end that I get out of the Deliverance. And that's super cool. And with that said, I think I have decided I'm probably going to keep both of these amps because I really, really enjoy them. I was thinking I was going to just, you know, get rid of the Deliverance and that the SigX had truly just took its place. But playing them back to back right here, although I do think they are very similar feeling and sounding to an extent, that low end hugeness that the Deliverance has, the SigX does not seem to have. It's just super interesting to think about. And they're both super fun to play. I'm really enjoying these amps. But hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, you guys take care. If you have any questions or anything, or if there's anything that you guys would like me to do in the future, please leave that down in the comments. I think the next thing that I want to do at the moment is compare the SigX and the Artemis. I think it's going to be a much closer comparison than the Artemis and the Deliverance because of that, lack of really big low end that I mentioned. But anyway, hope you guys take care. See you later.